The Movie Preview Critic. Informing and entertaining your movie world.
The other major new release this weekend was Fired Up, coming in 9th place with $5.4 million. Its budget was $20, so that's bad news for these filmmakers. Looks like audiences are tired of road trip, teen sex craze, raunchy comedies. It released in 1,800 theaters, only 200 less than Madea Goes to Jail, and averaged $3,000 per theater. While remember, again, Madea averaged $20. What hurt this movie was the no-name cast and the story that seemed too unbelievable for us to suspend our disbelief. Maybe if this movie had some familiar leads, it would have succeeded a little bit more. Here, Eric Christian Olsen is one of the main characters. He's been in movies like Eagle Eye, Beer Fest, and The Comebacks, but he's stronger as a co-star than the main attraction. And he's 31 years old playing a 17-year-old. His partner in crime, Nicholas D'Augusto, hasn't really been in anything memorable, and he's 28 years old playing a 17-year-old. Looks like those guys won't be returning to high school anytime soon, or starring in any major films as the lead roles. Look for this movie to make about $15 million and be gone from theaters in about 3 weeks. And that's mainly because it's a tired, been there, done that, cookie cutter teen comedy. As a result, we the audience deserve an A for recognizing this movie for what it is. Now, let's review the rest of the movies in theaters in order of ranking. Coraline comes in second, making 11.4, bringing its total to $53 million. We have to really congratulate ourselves here. While it lost 165 theaters and 22% of its box office over last week, it's still bringing in a good amount of money, which means word of mouth is keeping it alive. For our box office behavior here, we get an A for continuing to strongly support creative, risky, and ambitious filmmaking. Taken makes $11.2 million, losing only 7 theaters but dropping 40%. After 4 weeks of release in the US, it's made $95 million. For our continued support of Liam Neeson and Luc Besson, we the audience get an A. 4th place belongs to He's Just Not That Into You with $8.5 million. That's over a 50% drop from last week, but its total is $70 million after just 3 weeks. With a budget of $25 million, that's a pretty great gross so far. Let's give ourselves a B for overall performance on this one, because while it deserves to be respected for its content based on the no bullshit, this is how the dating world is book, it seems that the movie's sort of toned down this message with a bullshit ending that contradicts the point it's trying to make. And with $70 million in the bank, there may be talks of a sequel that's not going to be going straight to DVD. And the bad news is, it probably won't be any riskier than this installment. Slumdog moves from 9th to 5th place by adding over 600 theaters and jumps 15% with $8.3 million, bringing its total to $98 million after 15 weeks. That's pretty amazing. It's making more money now than it did in its opening week, a rare occurrence in today's movie world. Its budget was only $15, and it just won a shitload of Oscars, so look for it to break the $100 million mark next weekend. For our box office behavior, we definitely get an A for supporting the little big movie that could and did. Then there's Paul Blart. Screw Jason. Blart is the box office slasher that just won't die. Here, he apprehends, yeah, I just made that joke, sorry, another $6.8 million, bringing his total to $121 million after just 6 weeks. Holy shit. Just to compare, Gran Torino, the 12th place film this week, has made $134 million after 11 weeks, which is pretty great. And it's Clint Eastwood's most profitable movie ever, not adjusted for inflation. But that means that Paul Blart has made almost as much as Dirty Harry in half the amount of time. WTF. By now, it's safe to assume that a Paul Blart trilogy has been ordered up, with parts 2 and 3 filming simultaneously, Lord of the Rings style. For our behavior here, we get a huge F. We are responsible for the Paul Blart trilogy that will curse theaters over the next 2 to 3 years. Confessions of a Shopaholic moves from 4th to 8th with a pathetic $6.7 million in its second week for a total of 27. For our behavior here, we get an A. While this movie had a potential to be a timely warning about the dangers of living beyond our means, it takes the path of least mental resistance and focuses on pratfalls combined with Sex and the City's shoe jokes and man obsession. We deserve praise for recognizing recognizing it for what it is and giving it a box office rude awakening. Moving from 7th to 10th is official box office flop The International. With a budget of about $50 million and a total of $17 million after just 2 weeks, stars Clive Owen and Naomi Watts should survive this untouched. But let's hope the same applies for director Tom Twyker. For our box office behavior here, we get a B, because in the end, it's not our fault we didn't know this movie was even out. Last week, the consensus opinion among movie lovers was that no one had even heard of this movie or knew when it was going to be released. So, we supported it as much as we knew about it. The marketing team and the studio are the ones that get an F for not pushing this enough and for maybe losing faith in this movie's potential even before it hit theaters. Finally, Pink Panther Part 2 makes $3.8 million, bad enough for 11th place. After 2 weeks, it's made $29. I haven't been able to find its budget, but the first movie cost $80 million, which makes you wonder, what did they spend it on? Even if they cut that budget in half for this one, there's no way it'll make that much in theaters. Expect this to be gone in 2 to 3 weeks, with a final total somewhere between 30 to 35 million. For our box office behavior here, we get a B. 29 million is way too much for this greedy, uninspired sequel. Steve Martin was funnier in 4 minutes at this year's Oscars than he was here in 90 minutes, which proves he's still got it when it comes to on-the-spot comedy, but he's apparently lost it when it comes to choosing his movie roles. So that's our box office movie world for this week. We should definitely give ourselves a round of applause for displaying wisdom when it comes to making our box office choices, because we voted wisely for our movie future with our hard-earned dollars. So until next week, remember, the movie future is in our hands. Hollywood gives us more of what we pay for, so choose wisely, and as always,
long live good movies.